November 19th, 2021 Luang Phosri Suriya Khemarato's Satya Dharma reflection. Whenever the emptiness purifies, let it be simultaneously for both all the four elements of earth, air, water, and fire, and all the spaces. Don't look only realm of existence. Don't look only samsara of realm of existence. Purify throughout earth, air, water, and fire, even the space, the air elements. Even within nothingness, no exception, even that one thing there is nothing. When one thinks or sees that there is nothing, actually there exists something, which is samsara of realm of existence that overlaps in all and everything. Therefore, don't waste the time to fix on anything specifically. Don't be wasting time to be specific with anything. Purify throughout everything without boundaries. Constantly. Whether it's about living beings or non-living beings, purify throughout equally for all and everything. The earth that has nothing to do with itself. Water that has nothing to do with itself right away. The air that has nothing to do with itself right away. Whatever is there, just uninvolved with it instantly. With this, it will be truly purification of the emptiness. Don't be obsessed to be limited. To a certain extent, it's gonna be just a limitation on and on. That's going to be a delusion that feel resentments within oneself, all by oneself. The earth has nothing to do with itself, water has nothing to do with itself, the air has nothing to do with itself. The fire uninvolved with itself right away, child. Elements uninvolved with themselves, all things uninvolved with themselves right away. Whatever thing just uninvolved with itself, so that it will be purification of emptiness, purification of nibbana. Otherwise, why say it? Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself? What does it mean exactly? It is the purification of emptiness, in fact. Otherwise, one will just focusing on the spirit, the non-human beings or humans. How can there be any throughout of purification? Because there are the overlap of all the elements of earth, air, water, and fire. Purify throughout the space within all elements right away. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself with all the elements simultaneously for inside and outside. The blessing that is equal. The purification that is equal without differentiation. Even the air elements, just give no meaning to it, so that it will be purification of emptiness. Within all the earth, air, water, and fire, all these four elements, there are something overlapped in there. There are the samsara of realm of existence that overlapped in there. To be obsessed with significance and meanings is not possible to pass through. It will be just blocked only like that, with significance and meanings, with involvement on and on. Use that which has nothing to do with non-attachment or mind. Use that which has nothing to do with the uninvolved child. No is not even no itself. With this, it will be all about purification of emptiness, which is called sunyata nibbana, purifying samsara onwards, which is called blessing. It will help through the unwinding and releasing, brightening, purifying the suffering, all the resentments and depression. All of the Vedana will be purified. Karma and karmic difficulties will be all purified. The emptiness purifies very well, even purifying its condition. No exception, even with the climate. Don't be giving significance and meanings within the climate regarding good or bad climate. Don't be obsessed with goodness or badness. It is not good within the idea about goodness and badness. Being obsessed with significance and meanings within goodness and badness, that is not good within goodness and badness. Uninvolved even within itself, constantly, simultaneously with everything, so that it will purify the attributes of samudaya, about significance and meanings with anything. If there is a lot of meanings and significance, then there is a lot of causes of suffering, causes of karmic difficulties. With this, it will purify the attributes of the attempt to give meanings and significance, so that there will be a purification. The uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, will do the purification of everything simultaneously. Mind, or the non-attachment, is not about anything within itself. Even no is not no itself. It's not about anything within no or yes. With this, it will purify the attributes of samudaya, or the causes. All the attempt to give significance and meanings is all about causes, causes of karma, causes of suffering. Is both causes of suffering and causes of karma. All these attributes of giving meanings and significance and involvement. Samsara begins at this point. Once there is the beginning of giving significance and meanings, it becomes samsara right away. All realms of existence begins right here at this point. Once there is a beginning of giving significance and meanings and involvement with anything, it begins to create realm of existence right there. It begins to create cycle of becoming right there. Instantly. Otherwise, it will not be mentioned. Non-attachment has nothing to do with itself. Uninvolved has nothing to do with itself, because there is a purification. Because it is the ceasing of samudaya. It is the purification of the samudaya, the causes of samsara, causes of karma. Purifying the causes of suffering and delusion totally. Go on to that most. Mind has nothing to do with mind itself. Go ahead. Non-attachment has nothing to do with itself to the utmost. Go ahead. It's not about anything within the uninvolved itself. Uninvolved is not involved with itself. To be given simultaneously throughout the whole worldly elements. There is no exception, whether it is these worldly elements or anywhere within all the universes of elements, samsara or universes. There is no exception. Let's give the essence equally throughout, purifying simultaneously. That which has nothing to do with the uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, purify throughout, so that it will be a purification of emptiness for all and everything simultaneously. Move on simultaneously with earth, air, water, and fire, and the climate, uninvolved within the uninvolved itself, to be given simultaneously with everything. Don't think that within the trees there are nothing. Within the space, the air, there is nothing overlapping. Don't think that within the emptiness or nothingness there is nothing overlapping. Merely thinking that there is nothing there, actually the thought exists. And when feels that there is nothing, actually there exists the feelings. It's full of samsara, of realm of existence within there. Uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, to be given to the utmost, without having to be considerate to one's own mind. There is no need to be afraid to lose the beingness of the mind of karma and karmic difficulties. With this, it will purify the samudaya, causes of suffering, causes of karma. Continue to purify through the uninvolved, even within itself. This is the sentence that gives good conclusion to purify samsara simultaneously. If being obsessed to use opinions and meanings, titi, insights, knowing, seeing, it will just create samsara on and on. If there's still the idea of oneself a lot, then just remind oneself about the essence of that which has nothing to do with the non-attachment. If the idea of oneself is still a lot, still significance and meanings a lot, child, just remind oneself, tell oneself constantly, my, even with my itself, reminding to give ending to it. Non-attachment to the non-attachment itself. That which has nothing to do with my or not my, to be given all the same with everything. Constantly tell oneself if the idea of oneself still remains. Or if there is still a lot of significance and meanings, there is a lot of samudaya, causes of suffering and causes of karma. If there is a lot of form up of samudaya, remind oneself constantly. Remind oneself to purify the samudaya more often. That which has nothing to do with the non-attachment, to be given all the same with everything. Uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, to be given all the same. Remind oneself to purify samudaya, if samudaya is still formed up a lot. The upalok or the form up purifies itself simultaneously. With this, the upalok will not be deluded to, it will not become karma and karmic difficulties. The vibhak is something that's circling around itself. It is the difficulty within itself. The upalok of thoughts recalls knowing and seeing. The upalok of titi viewpoints and wisdom. This is all about upalok, form up things. If the upalok doesn't purify itself, that upalok will bounce back to oneself as the vibhak, to circle around in itself. It will return to oneself in such a way on and on endlessly. Therefore, remind oneself to purify onwards constantly. Mind that has nothing to do with mind itself, that which has nothing to do with non-attachment or attachment, to be given all the same with everything. If one's already break through one's own circling mind, just continue further towards samsara. Purify throughout the worldly elements and samsara simultaneously through the emptiness. Go on without limits to purify all and everything simultaneously. If one still circling around within oneself a lot, not yet breaking through oneself, so just remind oneself well to purify itself. That which has nothing to do with the non-attachment to be given all the same. That which has nothing within the uninvolved itself to be given all the same. That which has nothing to do with the body, the mind, and all things as it is. Share the essence all the same throughout all the four elements of earth, air, water, and fire, and nature. Through the essence of the uninvolved even within itself, so that there will be the purification of emptiness all the same. Let's not choose whether it's humans or non-humans. Don't search only for spirits or the non-human beings, or only the humans or non-humans. To be obsessed to search for all of these, there is only just a blockade. What can one see? Without discarding the searching itself, how can one be clear about anything? That which has nothing to do with the non-attachment to be given to the utmost, so that it will be beyond the mind. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself altogether. With this, it will not be stuck with the extinction. It's not about anything within the uninvolved itself, not about anything within mind itself, within the non-attachment itself. No is not even no itself. With this, There will not be any remains of the Samutthaya within Tithi. There will not be the remains of the Samutthaya within the insight or within the viewpoint. There will not be the remains of the Samutthaya within the mind and the soul. If one is enabled to uninvolve with the mind and the soul, then one will enable to go beyond birth and rebirth. If one enables to uninvolve even within the uninvolved itself, one will enable to purify the samsara through the emptiness. One will enable to bless through nibbana and through the emptiness. If one enable to uninvolve even within the uninvolved itself, one will enable to purify through the emptiness and nibbana. Don't be obsessed to give meanings and significance within the air, within the climate. Nothing is within the climate. Don't be obsessed with something within something, meanings and significance in something. It is not about anything within anything. To give significance and meanings within the air, earth, water and fire, it will just create cycle of birth and rebirth on and on. Always circling within this cycle on and on. Being obsessed with significance and meanings, circling in itself, circling in the cycle of becoming on and on. All these significance and meanings cannot be trusted at all, because it's going to lead oneself to create cycle of becoming on and on, leading oneself to circle around to create cycle of becoming on and on, leading oneself to become samsara of realm of existence on and on. Being obsessed to deludedly liking or disliking anything, continue in the way of samsara of realm of existence further and further. Even mind doesn't obtain mind itself. Even the uninvolved doesn't obtain itself. Even mind, non-attachment, is not about anything within itself. Even the uninvolved itself is not about anything within itself.